In Barrel Bayou, if you watch this cloak, he'll eventually toss out a chest with a green extra life balloon. But if you move the screen and come back, he'll respawn and, you guessed it, toss out another chest with another extra life balloon. This is one of the fastest ways to grind for extra lives, but you can also spawn 8 chests to lag the game and despawn objects.
Boom. Particular. Machine.
Mario is coming up on his 35th anniversary. We've been playing Mario games for a long time. We made wall kicks work on frozen tundras. We crossed searing volcanoes with giant mechanical death traps. We blasted out of launch stars through outer space. And we played casual board games on a Saturday afternoon. Besides being a bit of a retrospective, all that is to say, with so many players beating Mario games, you've got plenty of people crafting difficult challenges to stretch those games beyond their intended biosphere. I myself have done the Turbo Box challenge. Beating levels with 1, half, or 0 A presses is a good one, and speedruns remain one of the most popular types of challenges to date. But I was surprised at one particular challenge that managed to elude public interest hiding under the old M hat for so long. Now maybe this challenge existed in some form before, but in the year of 2018, it struck shining, sparkling, silver. Can't be gold because, well... The No Coin Challenge took the internet by storm. The idea was unbelievably simple. Take all the shiny coins painted throughout the various levels of a Mario game, and don't touch any of them. Mario, as you know, is a greedy coin grubber, so he has to have thousands of coins to collect across each and every one of his games. But when you flip the idea from all to none, you realize just how many coins there actually are. For all the simplicity in the idea, execution requires ludicrous amounts of skill and dedication. It's easy to see then why people enjoy watching the challenges, and also easy to pick up a Mario game and try the challenge out yourself. Videos began popping up everywhere, on my feed at least, and it was only a matter of time until the challenge migrated to Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Country is in many ways like Mario's 2D platformers. Both have Nintendo mascots jumping with relative ease across platforms, both have loads of goodies and secrets to find, and both have world maps with little buttons on them. The common collectible is also near identical. Mario has his coins, while Donkey Kong has bananas. Why? Because, well, he's a monkey. You can't really argue with that. Both items casually float in the air, both are littered along pathways throughout the adventure, and neither are required for progression. Naturally then, we should have a series of games with an exciting, difficult, but totally doable challenge. Just jumpity jump around those bananas without a peel to worry about. Right? Who turned out the lights? There's one tiny little problem. People quickly realized that beating Donkey Kong Country without collecting any bananas is kind of impossible. Donkey Kong Country Returns has an overripe 16 bananas to collect in the very first level. The original doesn't do much better, only getting to level 2. Well, how does my favorite game in the series do? For Diddy Kong's Quest... What? It's Diddy's Kong Quest? You're kidding. Oh my gosh, it's right on the title screen. Donkey Kong Country 2 does better. We can get past level 1, level 2, and even level 3. Then there's the 4th level, Lockjaw's Locker. Your controls are locked for the first second, forcing 2 bananas into your inventory, and then the long string of bananas twists into a cruel, fruity cage with 2 more bananas on the way down. But throwing out the entire game just because of one offset early on seems a bit too dismissive. So, I want to direct your attention to the lovely UI counting our failures in the top left corner. Why does it count? Is it to expose our shame? Well, what if I told you the Kongs weren't obsessed with bananas? They're obsessed with balloons. After all, no mere monkey could devour the sheer gross volume of bananas absorbing into their inventory throughout the adventure. Instead, 100 bananas trade in for 1 balloon, denoting our number of extra lives. How do I know they're balloons? Well, you collect balloons, you get the balloon popping sound when you die. And are you really nitpicking this? The point I'm using to pop the idea here is if you can't beat Donkey Kong Country 2 without collecting a single banana, can you beat Donkey Kong Country 2 without collecting a single extra life? We only have to avoid collecting 100 bananas, and any busty balloons floating around the game's levels. Well, after some research, the answer is yes. Sort of. You can't beat Donkey Kong Country 2 without collecting 100 bananas. You can, however, beat Donkey Kong Country 2 without collecting 100 bananas. These guys. Clobbers are these weird kremlings that hide in a barrel their entire lives, and when you get close, they pop out and start knocking you around. There's a TNT variant that's actually pretty dangerous, but most of them are just a big pain in my backside. However, the yellow ones are pretty integral to this challenge. The Kongs will lose a banana bunch for each bump taken from a yellow clobber. That is, 10 regular bananas. This is the only way we can stay under our 100 banana quota. At the very basic level, you must simply reach Jungle Jinx, or if you don't want to collect any Creme Coins, Red Hot Ride. These are the first levels in the game to feature the yellow variant of the clobber, and as long as you can get to Funky Kong with 2 banana coins in each world, you can simply fly back to these levels and unload all your bananas. This challenge hits one particular difficulty spike in Gloomy Glutch, as the world has no yellow clobbers and Funky Kong is all the way over there. Certainly doable, however, so I gave the challenge a shot. I easily made it to Red Hot Ride with 43 bananas, and I unloaded all of them. So far so good, and then I walked the plank in Rattle Battle. My first death? Alright, fine. But then it happened again, and again, and by Crazy Kremland, just halfway into the game, I was out of lives. Game over. We have a bit of a problem. You only have 5 lives to beat the entire game, and you can't save, because the game resets all of your lives and all of your bananas whenever you load your file. Using the save feature would ruin the point of the challenge, but so would save states, which is what I needed to actually get to the end of the game. So yes, I'm not as good a player as I thought I was, but it's more than that. I'd say a challenge is only as good as it gets the player to think about the game in a new way. The no coin challenge, for example, gets you jumping around the levels in a new way as you attempt to dodge the pieces of gold. The problem with the no extra life challenge is there's no exact science to it. Sliding into a few extra bananas here and there doesn't really mean much when Clobber can just unload all of them for you. Other than a few levels where you need to minimize your banana count, there's really only one thing that gets in your way. Death. So it basically devolves into an endurance test. Can you or can you not beat the game with only 5 lives? Is a no extra life challenge possible? Yes. Is it worth your time and effort? I'll let this reenactment answer for me. Alright, let's get Dixie and... What? No, you gotta be kidding. Wait a minute. How am I supposed to be beating this challenge if that kind of thing kills me? That is so dumb. There's no way that killed me. There's no way that should have killed me. I was not happy about this one.
This challenge.
So, what now? Does the 4-banana cage of Lockjaw's Locker lock us into a tragic legacy of impossible and unworthwhile challenges? Well, I want to escape your banana-prying eyes from Lockjaw's Locker to focus instead on the next level. Topsail Trouble. We can get all the way to the checkpoint barrel in Topsail Trouble without touching a single banana. But then, this macabre string of bananas meets us on the rigging. We can't jump over them, and we're faced with the familiar dilemma. However, we have free movement this time, and I would like to present to you a vital technology. Damage Boost. Our protagonists, Diddy and Dixie, use a buddy system throughout the game. If one Kong takes damage, the other taps in. It's basically an extra hit point. But it's more than just a life system. Upon taking damage, the game grants invincibility frames, just under 2 seconds of flickering monkey goodness where the Kongs can touch any damage source, and also an additional mid-air jump. This is a standard safety net video games often employ to help you recover from a bad move. But in a no banana challenge, this becomes a web of branching strategies to dodge that sinister floating fruit. We can skip many obstacles, but only while we have both Diddy and Dixie and also a source of damage. Once we activate a damage boost, we're out of ammo until the next DK barrel. Foundationally, in a level with multiple banana blockers, plot the DK barrels and try and use a damage boost to get past all the blockers in between them. There are more strategies, of course, but without the damage boost, we'd be out of luck on a lot of stages. Case in point, topsail trouble. By jumping with Dixie from the bottom knot and gliding into the very foot of the clinger, we can damage boost across our banana blocker. This particular strategy would be all the cause for celebration, except now there's a zinger in our way. If we tried to jump over the giant bee, we'd grab some bananas. There is a DK barrel below for another damage boost, but we'd still be stuck collecting a banana. I tried plenty of ways to get past the buzzkill and the damage boost almost, but I just couldn't do it. If you've played the game before, you might be thinking, well, why don't I just use the warp barrel? Bananas. That's no good. Each warp room has an exclamation point with 4 unavoidable bananas. Now maybe you're thinking, what about having Ratley jump over the bananas? Well, Ratley's tall noodle of a body hits a dang banana on the way to the warp room. So the warp room won't work. But Ratley, he will. For those unaware, Ratley is an animal buddy with the primary gimmick of jumping really, really high. By holding down A, as this banana glyph kindly alludes to us, Ratley can perform a super jump. This alone won't solve our problem, but we can super jump from this mast, hop off Ratley Yoshi style, damage boost off the zinger, and skip the entire problematic section from before. Good, we're about halfway done. Next, we carefully avoid some socket bananas, grab this DK barrel, and turn around. We can damage boost this banana blocker, but we don't have a DK barrel to reload before the level's next blocker. So, we grab this hidden hook, jump into the bonus barrel, break out the juice box as we wait 15 seconds because of the banana blockade, jump down, hit the zinger, grab the respawn DK barrel, damage boost through the other zingers, damage boost on this zinger so Dixie can float over the bananas, jump from the second socket banana over to the level target, and carefully, but excitedly, tap the back edge of the target to beat topsail trouble with no bananas. If you stopped at Lockjaw's locker, you would have missed all of that. We're talking strategy, we're talking technical precision, we're talking pure rage towards yellow fruit. We may not be able to beat DKC2 without collecting a single banana, but minimizing the bananas for each level has the markings of a great challenge. And by playing levels individually, we can throw out the trash and give ourselves a break between the more notorious levels. Hello everyone, this is Particular Mushroom, and the question I'm definitively answering today is, how many levels can you beat in Donkey Kong Country 2 with 0 bananas? But we're giving every level a chance, so I also came up with 3 tiered goals. The gold medal is awarded to each stage where we can manage to get absolutely 0 bananas in. The silver medal is awarded to each stage where we grabbed some bananas, but still found the minimum. And if the level is trouble, we can still give it a bronze medal for at least collecting under our completely arbitrary limit of 20 bananas. That's for my own sanity, please understand. With the rules set, let's go. I'm about to use the word banana like a banillion times. Notice, while the use of save states is allowed to reset to the beginning of a level, all levels in this challenge were completed from start to finish without the use of a single save state in between. Using save states during a level to complete the challenge is punishable by a fine of up to 500 particular points. As the first level, Pirate Panic is also the easiest. There's not much to note here except there are some bananas directly under the checkpoint barrel. So as long as we don't die, first level of the game, I think we can manage that. This is a good warm-up level as things immediately pick up. Not 2 steps into main brace mayhem and we have our first banana blocker, an arc of bananas. We have 1 click-clack to work with, but a damage boost will not make us immune to collecting bananas. We need a way to go over or under. Useful only 1 other time in the entire challenge, the crouch slide immediately squashes your hitbox to a size needed to slide under them nanners. But of course, stylish people like me like to bounce off the click-clack as it's flipping over to barely and beautifully loft over the bananas. The next blocker seems a bit direr, but it's nothing a good team-up toss can't solve. There's a ledge hiding slightly out of view. The team-up toss is a candidly useful tool utilized throughout these levels. However, both Kongs will collect bananas during a team-up toss, and the toss ignores ropes, so the utility is mostly employed to reach high places and bridge long gaps. I used the team-up toss again in Main Brace Mayhem, and a few banana dodges later, we're at the end of level target. Tap the target on the side to avoid the precarious produce, and we're on our way. Gangplank Galleon is basically Pirate Panic 2.0, which is to say, pretty easy. We can avoid a string of bananas by team-up tossing into a blast barrel, and beyond that, playing skillfully is the simple way to net a 0 banana level. The end of level target has a danger that should be noted, though. If you hit the target from too high up, say from this hook here, the barrel will knock down an item from the item roulette. It's great to celebrate your victory with a delightful Diddy dance, but if the roulette drops down some bananas... Need I say more? So contain yourself and do a short hop to end the level. As previously discussed, Lockjaw's Locker gobbles up our fruitless run with 4 bananas. For all the existential dread it causes though, the rest of the level is fairly easy. At first glance, several tight corridors seem to barricade our progress forward. However, water mechanics in DKC2 allow Diddy and Dixie to cozy up to the various barrels, boxes, and bins, making otherwise tightly packed banana bunches an easy avoidance. We've already discussed Topsail Trouble, so with the bird boss down, we have a pretty good scorecard for World 1. On to World 2, Crocodile Cauldron. Hothead Hop is hopping in first, and once again we start with one of those stupid banana arcs. Thankfully, this one is far more straightforward. Observe. Oh, I haven't explained the spin jump yet. Have I? As the naming suggests, you spin into a jump. The jump is nothing special. The utility is more so you can take that jump anytime during the spin, such as directly midair. Combined with lava a little worse than a cardboard pop-up, a spin jump easily breaks our banana blocker. A bit of precision platforming is all that's left to bridge the gap. At the next Hothead Hop, this orange crockhead would love to launch us into the sextet of bananas, so make another tight landing on the green crock and glide to safety. Then there's a quartet of bananas to glide past, and then the bananas leave us alone for a bit. Just watch out for this chest, there's a banana bunch inside. After the checkpoint we get Squitter, and next level. Okay, so Squitter has a quep quep, and a guawawa. The quep quep defeats enemies, and the guawawa makes platforms. Anytime, anywhere, with the only restriction being a maximum of 3. We can web over anything we want. It's a guaranteed no bananas as long as we have the spider-wearing sneakers. Just don't get complacent and take that crockhead onto the level target. If you get a stinking banana from that, you will be a very sad monkey. She's dying on the inside, I assure you. Now, Cannon's Claim is a level where we just give up. Not literally, but there are plenty of these banana blockers right in the line of barrel fire, and well, there's just nothing we can do to get around them. We have to take the first banana, and then we use the warp barrel, which brings us to the end of the level for a total of 5 bananas. Lava Lagoon, of course, starts off with another banana arc, but we have a plan for that one too. Team up toss to reach this sneaky ledge in the corner and spin jump past. Thankfully, this first clapper is not required, and the rest are banana free. Unfortunately, despite being able to slip past even this line of bananas, the set right at the end of the level is impassable. At the very least, we can skip one of these bananas by taking the hidden DK coin route, slipping over the blast barrel, which only works as Diddy, and skipping that banana right there, bringing the total to 4 unavoidable bananas. Red Hot Ride has yet another banana arc at the beginning, and it finally gets us. We can't skip it. Using the clobber, we can bounce over the arc, but we can't cross this giant chasm without using the hot air balloon or gliding with Dixie. The best we can do is spin jump into a glide, collecting only that very first banana. Grabbing Ramby in this next section can prove useful, but you have to watch out for the horn's massive hitbox. When jumping onto the first balloon, turn around before you land to avoid collecting the banana. Now pull back to allow the balloon to drop and then sneak under the fruit. You'll be doing that a lot this level. Rambi will trivialize the next section, but the nope sign quickly gets in the way. Okay. Anyway, after the checkpoint, if we hold on to this DK barrel, we can knock out this zinger to avoid some headache on the lower path. Progress a little further to reach this quartet. There is enough space to squeeze through with a team-up toss, but with the balloon bobbing around, getting the correct height is tricky. Instead, use a small trick. This wall blocks entry, but only so far down, so wait for the balloon to drop to lava level and slip underneath. Then team-up toss. For the final trial, the level presents its tightest banana sneaks. Thankfully, we can dip into the lava fairly deep and still catch the hot air back upwards. That ends the level with 1 banana. Much to my disappointment, we must cheese Squawk's shaft to get the lowest score. Hop into that warp barrel and collect 4 bananas. At least we made use of the warp barrels while they lasted. They do not exist past World 2. Shatter the sentient sword to pieces and we're done here. Our scorecard isn't too bad for World 2, but thanks to several banana blockers, we could only get that gold medal on 1 standard level. It won't be much better in World 3. Quem quay. Creme quay. Got it. Barrel Bayou will be our first level to break double digits, so let's break it down. Instead of barrel blasting around those dangerous bananas, glide over to Rambi, get off Rambi, and glide over to the zinger for a damage boost. Take a diagonal to dodge 3 bananas, and take a diagonal again to dodge more. Similarly, dodge another set at the checkpoint, although you must aim your landing. Soon after, there we get stuck. This gap is too wide around this barrel to glide across, so we must minimize damages by spin jumping into the second barrel. Diddy's spin jump has a bit more girth to it, so go ahead and switch to him. 1 banana doesn't sound too bad, but then it happens again. Grab something from the cloaks to down the zinger and perform another spin jump. The gap is bigger this time, so the jump is a bit tighter. We're then forced to collect an agonizing 12 bananas. But the level isn't done yet. There's an absolute trawl of bananas that this arrow barrel is more than happy to launch us into. But thankfully, we have a trick to minimize losses. By waiting 5 seconds after the barrel turns right, we can glide across the gap into the barrel and only collect 3 bananas. We might be able to cut 1 of those 3, but for now, that's 16 bananas for Barrel Bayou. Glimmer's Galleon starts right off with a tight slip past bananas. The dank, dark corridors are filled with these type maneuvers. While also dodging the local wildlife, this can prove quite challenging. What is this? An invasive species? But it's all doable, up until the very end. This banana glyph completely blocks the exit. Why? With tight squeeze and ocean breeze, we can struggle through with 4 bananas in our inventory. 4. Why is it always 4 in these water levels? Thanks for the flashbacks. Crockhead Clamber starts with what? A banana arc, and the only ticket out is the cutlass. A simple damage boost can get us over, but if we grab onto the cattail... Bull rush? We're forced into this banana. So instead, we hover over the cutlass as he pulls the swords back. And then, one day, I'm gonna actually, get it right, maybe sometime in the next, When we finally get it right, Dixie will have enough height to pass over the cattail completely. Fly over to here and another banana-loaded cattail is in our way. The flitter provides enough of a springboard to get across, but we also need to get past Kaboing here. The timing is pretty ridiculous. We need to bounce on the flitter at near maximum height to get over the cattail, and we also need to bounce at near maximum length to safely land on the platform as well. And things only get worse from here. We need to safely land on this lily pad and switch to Diddy somehow without grabbing this banana to damage boost over this banana arc. And then, excuse me? I don't think this is even possible to land on these crockheads without collecting a banana, so it becomes a minimizing game. And then this next section is full of flitters, so maybe you can get through without collecting a single banana, I don't know. And then there's this banana arc and what do you do? Can you damage boost over it? I just don't know. Then the launch croc forces you to collect an entire banana arc. And now you have 1 banana crockheads, which sure, you can dodge the banana, but the save zone on the crockhead is smaller now, and these things are on a time limit. Okay, so I got 16, which is under the limit. It can be optimized more, sure, but you have to collect at least 1 banana regardless, so we're gonna move on. As we enter the cabin inside Rattle Battle, we are greeted with a transform barrel above a string of bananas. This looks worrisome, but for whatever reason, we pop out of the barrel with a jump. Yeehaw! The proceeding galley is full of fruit. Many bananas are placed directly on path to try and guide the player's jumps. Thankfully, our highly flexible noodle can slip through every single one of them. This was already perhaps my favorite level in the base game, and is probably my favorite level in this challenge too. Of all the dodges on display here, the most noteworthy are the cannon dodges. This first cannon fires 2 barrels at normal speed and then a third in slow-mo. This is your chance to super hop over the banana blocker. The next cannon isn't so friendly. This massive banana arc just floats there, menacingly, while the cannon's cannonballs whiz by. The only option is to stand on the edge of the ledge, jump over a cannonball, and quickly get in a super jump. It's a super close call, but completely possible. The last cannon isn't as precise, but nothing to sleep on either. And as you end the level, stay a mast away from this terrible, rage-inducing barrel stack. Some crockhead put a hidden bunch of bananas there. Like, seriously? Finally, we get another 0 bananas. Slime Climb is also possible to beat without collecting any bananas, but only through convoluted strategy, precision maneuvering, and a fish that just does not want to cooperate. Slime Climb's gimmick is that you are constantly being chased by a mass of water and its resident, invincible Snapjaw. The moment you enter the water, Snapjaw will ready its oversized maul and fire. The catch, which is a blessing and a curse, is that you have a few fleeting moments to get back to dry rigging and avoid damage. This means anytime we reach a banana blocker, we could klutz into the water like a bumbling buffoon, and if Snapjaw is feeling generous, we could get away with it. Could being the key word. Snapjaw is manipulable, but not so much reliable. So the strategy presented in this video is not the only option, but the one that minimizes the dipping of toes into the water. Quite the forward, but on to the level. It's time we introduce a new piece of tech. After a quick setup. Leave this click-clack be, take out the crunch and the other 2 click-clacks, head back to the DK barrel, grab it with Dixie, and carry it to this spot on the rigging. This will trigger the rising slime, and after a quick second, jump to the click-clack and take damage. We immediately get Dixie back, and gain invulnerability to swim past the banana glyph. Let's call this advanced version of the damage boost a damage swap. Because of this maneuver, we can team up toss past the upcoming banana arc, and take the blast barrel shortcut as well. Don't take the second one. It has bananas. For the next step, we need to cartwheel the cannon to take the invincibility barrel. Then jump to trigger the slime climb, getting us past another banana glyph. When you reach this rigging, take out the clingers. Yeah, you can knock these guys out and it's not all that obvious. Glide to the second mast to trigger the slime climb again. Turn around and dip into the water once to get back to the rigging, and a second time to reach the path forward. Dodge the bees, reach the flitters, and take out the first one. This last dip is the worst, but getting a running start seems to snap Snapjaw into a good position behind you. If you make it out with both Kongs, you can team up toss to surpass the last banana arc. Grab the last invincibility barrel to ensure victory, and take a nice break. You're gonna need it after this one. I know you were all looking forward to hearing Sticker Brush Symphony, but unfortunately there's no hope for Bramble Blast. We're forced to collect way too many bananas in this level, with almost no strategic options or route of escape. We can damage boost to skip maybe, 4 bananas? A pittance. Bramble Blast is not worth talking about because it is very much on rails. The bananas can't be avoided because they're placed on the only correct path, and if we don't take that path, we die. Or worse, get stuck in an endless loop of barrel blasts. What is life? Barrels don't hurt me. While there theoretically is a minimum banana count, we're easily over 20, so it's not really in my best interest, or even remote interest, to figure out. On to levels that are actually interesting. After kicking Cudgel out of your swamp, World 3 is over. Our scorecard denotes a lot of disappointment, but also two of our most interesting levels as well. First up in Crazy Kremland is Hornet Hole. Both zingers and bananas swarm the sticky honey in an attempt to end our run, but with good maneuvering, we're just fine. The strategy here is of particular note. You can grab the bottom end of the honey on the left, and alternating jumps from here perfectly dodges each and every banana. The zero run ends here though. A banana blocker completely envelops the honey wall, our only route upward. It's possible to skip one or two bananas, but you're bound to grab at least one. What a shame. The rest of the level is banana free, with compelling, tight jumps, and even a damage boost at the end. As one last note, Squitter is also banana blocked, so he doesn't do us any good. I managed a decent 5 bananas in Hornet Hole. Whoops, it's fine, we're not doing the no life challenge anymore. Target Terror is figuratively and literally on rails, so there's not much to talk about here. Way too many bananas. Now, you get an earful of Sticker Brush Symphony, because Bramble Scramble is a long level with a lot to discuss. As per usual, the level starts off with a nice banana arc in our way. Glide over the crook, switch to Diddy, grab the DK barrel, pull back so the crook notices your presence, and now jump on top of the hook to damage swap, allowing Dixie to glide over the banana arc. The damage swap isn't mandatory, but it sure is stylish. Other than a few bananas to look out for, the first half of the level play is pretty standard. When you reach the nope sign, fly over at a high altitude, so the banana bunch gets stuck in the brambles. Otherwise, you may have to damage boost and glide over them. We have an opportunity to get Squitter here, but this is the one time the spider cannot get us past the bananas, so we have to go the normal way. This cannonball trial seems pretty intimidating, until we realize the generous hitbox on the brambles gives us plenty of dodging room. Bolt the cannon and switch to Diddy if you haven't yet. Very carefully, dink the jump button to gracefully navigate between the two obstacles. You can easily pass the next banana string with the damage boost, but to get through with both Kongs, you need to glide not only around the bananas, but the crate too. Otherwise, the hitbox change grabs you a banana. Tap squawks free and flap to the next section. If you have 2 Kongs, damage boost right through this zinger. Otherwise, you'll have to make a tight move between bananas and a spiky boy. This next section, we have to collect our first bananas. But we can skip one of these 3 with an odd trick. Didn't know you could do that, did ya? The brambles have a curved hitbox to match their form, so under this banana there's a divot we can utilize. Hold down to minimize squawks bouncing and bolt through. We'll soon come across another banana blocker, which we'll skip over with the damage boost. The hardest stuff is over now, but it's easy to get carried away and die like I did. So dumb! Ah! I have to do the whole level again now if you didn't realize. We don't have a damage boost for this next banana blocker, and as one more prickle in the bush, we have the toughest level target yet. Jump over or crouch slide under this string of bananas, and just lightly graze that flippin' level target. How is this not close enough? Mumbling monkeys, goodness. Skip Rickety Race. Do we even need to look at it? Mudhole Marsh starts out without a banana to be seen, but things pick up around the hooks, me bucko. We need to slide under these bananas with Dixie, and slide under several more. Dixie's hair twirl gets a real workout this level, with moments like these that seem made for it. Oh no, Sonic, what did they do to you? He's been horribly disfigured. Real talk, I can't stand this stupid enemy. Really annoying, waste your time. However, it's no more difficult in our banana-less run. Just don't get caught. Near the end of the level is when things bog down a bit. We're supposed to bounce off the barrels to reach the next platform, but the banana arcs ensure we can't do that. We have to roll underneath. I can't seem to clear this reliably, but switching to Diddy seems to be the move. Take a damage boost at the cannon, and provided Discount Sonic doesn't get ya, that's 0 bananas for Mudhole Marsh. Ramby Rumble starts off with a tragic banana blocker. On the honey, no other options. We can skip a foreboding banana arc with a spin jump, but quickly we're back into bananas. We can make a few more tight jumps, and then more bananas. I can feel the tinge of sweat with 10 bananas at the checkpoint, but then the whole bucket gets thrown at me. Rambi has some wild charge maneuvers which skip slews of bananas, but we are still forced to collect way too many, easily racking in over 20. So this level is out. Interestingly, King Zing Sting actually has bananas in it. What the heck, game? We're okay. We can fly right over them. Fling King Zing across the thing, and let's get the heck out of here. World 4 will probably end up as our worst scorecard with half the levels as failures. No reason to dwell in the past though, on to World 5, Gloomy Gulch. Ghostly Grove revolves around these spooky vines phasing in and out of existence, and despite whatever tragic backstory permanently etched that devoid, haunting, wretched face, it sure is super cute. Ahem. The ghostly ropes make up most of the maneuvers in this level. Most are not of note, however, 2 are impossible. There's a banana arc blocking the entire lane here, so that ends our run. We can minimize collection with a bounce off the clobber into 2 of the bananas, and then gliding through the opening. The next blocker is of course the same thing, but with 2 banana arcs. We munch the entire first arc, and then skip the next arc by jumping between bananas and a spiky boy. What's frustrating is... Diddy, what are you doing? Okay. What's frustrating is using Dixie, we can skip one of the bananas in the first arc, but then something about Dixie's hitbox forces her to collect one of the bananas in the second arc. Either way, we have a net gain of 4. The penultimate rope rumba has a banana right in the line of jumping, but I find that a damage boost is just what the doctor ordered. That's it. Now hold on here. Turns out we can do better. You see, I was thinking you had to take 2 bananas here. I knew you could touch the rope and only grab 1 banana, but you still needed to grab 2 to get to the other side. However, there's a different way to go about this. This arc looks impassable, and alone it is. But we have some help. By teaming up and bouncing off the clobber's head, we get enough height to throw ourselves over this entire banana arc. It's unfortunate then we still get 1 banana, but that's 1 less than 2. So our total comes out to 5 bananas instead of 6. Haunted Hall is a unique, thematically fitting, and well-designed level. But there's way too many bananas here. Next. I like Gusty Glade for these cute, thin platforms, but there's bananas on them. That's nothing a snake buddy can't handle, but we'll have to break him free. He's on the other side of this cliff face. And there's a banana there too. We could easily team up toss over, except the camera won't budge until we are actually standing up there. We can manipulate this little restriction by shifting the camera so that the banana is barely on screen. When we throw now, the camera stops us clean of the banana and allows us to free Ratley. After carefully hopping under some bananas and super hopping over this banana arc, we reach the aforementioned set of thin platforms. We can super hop into a Dixie glide to get past the first series of bananas. Don't worry, based on the trajectory in this screenshot, Ratley will land on this platform and be just fine. The tallest platforms are devoid of bananas, so we can glide from one to the other until we reach another banana arc. We need a well-timed spin jump to vault over. We'll spin jump over another banana arc, which just requires some Cutlass cleanup service first. Then, of course, why would you do this game? Why? I tried to get around it, but there are 6 bananas here and we can only skip 1 of them. The game then has the audacity to do the same thing again, but with barrels. However, jumping into the first barrel from underneath allows us to skip the far left banana, and we can damage boost to skip the very last banana. Make sure you land on top of the cliffside, and with a good jump, you can glide over the entire rest of the level, skipping another set of bananas, leaving us with a total of 9. Parachute Panic starts off with an entire grid of bananas. It's a banana bonanza. This looks pretty bad, but we can fit between them with a meticulous glide. Next we'll meet Quawks, that's Squawks without the S. The game wants us to ride Quawks casually down the chute, but we're not gonna do that. You can just as well glide down with Dixie, and I actually think it's easier that way. But we actually need Diddy here, who's gonna jump on Quawks, jump off Quawks, and hold left. Only Diddy can squeeze past these two bananas, and we'll do this maneuver a couple times more. For now, switch to Dixie and glide down the next section. Hold right at the end, and even if you get hit, there's a DK barrel right there. Glide down this next section, sifting between the obstacles and holding left here to dodge the danger. Switch to Diddy at the nope sign for our next maneuver. You can go ahead and ride Quawks here, and this banana is mandatory. Even if we squeeze by with Diddy, sudden damage will bounce us right up to it. What we really need Diddy for is to skip these 3 bananas inside this narrow chute. The next section is where things start to get complicated. With Dixie in lead position, immediately jump off Quawks, damage boost, grab the DK barrel, and drop down the chamber such that we only collect 1 of the 6 bananas. The maneuver is lightning fast, and a mouthful. You must dodge the first banana duo and quickly move left to grab only 1 banana from the second duo without moving left too much to grab another in the third duo. Then take 1 banana in this banana arc, hold left, and quickly jump over the spiny. Next up, switch to Dixie, damage swap, hold left, grab the 2 bananas because we have to, and glide the rest of the way down. Continue gliding through the level until you reach an area with 3 zingers and a banana string. Damage boost and hold left. The last thing to do is slip past this narrow line of bananas, but unfortunately for these first 2, it's a pixel perfect jump. I wasn't able to do it, but that's still 7 bananas for me. Considering the effort it took to get under double digits, I'm pretty happy with that. Web Woods has a few bananas you could maybe hit at the beginning of the level, but then we get Squitter. Need I say more? The one thing to point out is the camera can be a bit of a pain point as it stubbornly refuses to accommodate our playstyle, but it's nothing we can't get around. Creepy Crow is the other weird boss that has bananas. Oh, you want me to grab these? Haha, nope. The next banana blockers, though, actually require some effort. It looks hectic with all the eggs flying around, but the eggs alternate between vertical and horizontal, aiming directly at the player. The key is to make the horizontal egg fall down the inner rope and quickly jump from the outer rope. Send the bird to its grave a second time, and that's World 5. We're nearing the end now, World 6, K. Rool's Keep, and Arctic Abyss is hilarious. You are supposed to play this level entirely as Enguarde, but you can just swim under the transform barrel. That actually makes this level pretty trivial, at least for this challenge. Like, this would have been bad news as Enguarde, but we can just jump right over. Watch out for the bananas behind these puff top, and the 3 lockjaws at the end of the level can be intimidating. Otherwise, that's it. Fun fact, you can't actually pick up this DK barrel. With Windy Well, we finally get to play an entire mine level. Too bad we can't go bananaless. The level makes that very clear with 2 mandatory bananas. Wait, 1 mandatory? Okay, so if you pixel perfect jump the hook, I am not doing that. Still, good to know. Sorry, Gusty Glade, you have been demoted to bronze. Speaking of Gusty Glade, the wind returns in Windy Well, but here the wind carries the Kongs upward in a mostly horizontal level. The updraft will intermit at certain locations to allow the Kongs to bob and weave underneath zingers in a few vertical sections. Our controls are limited in the wind, so we'll have to get creative. Case in point, right after the hook is a set of 2 banana blockers. The only way out with 2 Kongs is to sneak under the intended route, then team up, drop off the platform, and toss. The level then plays standard fare until just after the clamp-on. Grab the hook and sneak under the next banana blocker by holding left. After the checkpoint, leave the DK barrel alone and take out the crooks. Then use the DK barrel to take out the first zinger. These zingers move left and right, so a well-timed damage boost should skip all the bananas. Now for the trickiest segment. Stand above this zinger and wait for the circling one to show its face. Taking the updraft now gives an easy climb. Just before the platform, we need to align on either side to avoid bananas and still knock on wood. The window is tight, but it doesn't help that the edge is slanted. If you are on the left side, jump and hold up to pass the next zingers. Land on another tight platform and prepare for the worst vertical section. There may be a way around all the bananas, but the best I can figure out is to hold left just as the wind suspends to hit just one banana and one zinger. Not our first banana, so whatever. That's a pretty good 3 bananas collected. Castle Crush isn't that bad, in theory. There's nothing overly perilous about going bananaless, but the level is basically a side-scroller that's 5 minutes long. So if you mess up in any capacity, you are doing the entire thing again. For being easy, I spent way too long on this level. Things to note: you can use Rambi, but the horn hitbox might not be worth it. When the 4 spinies come up, don't spin right into the bananas. I think you need squawks to get past these bananas, and you are contractually obligated to destroy that zinger with TNT. Get out of town! This section near the end is by far the worst. Of course the zingers are orbiting bananas of all things. I found that I could jump over the first banana to dodge the first zinger, and the other 2 I was able to hide in the corner. It's funny, there's a harder section of spinning bees later on, but with more space it's comparatively trivial. Clapper's Cavern marks the return, well yes, of Clapper, but more significantly, Snapjaw. We will have to manipulate the fish again. There's a banana blocker right at the start, and rather than damage boosting, we can take a secret high road with a bonus room. Lounge around for the timer to run out, and we're placed in a secret section which skips that first banana blocker. Continue as usual, or, okay, the Neek's facing the wrong way. What is wrong with that coin? And where the heck did you come from? Anyway, at this blast barrel, we need to fall back into it and hope Snapjaw doesn't get us, so we can land on the left platform and jump over Cruncha. I've tried otherwise, and this is the only way I've made it work. Oh, or you could just do that, I guess. Next, take an icy cold plunge and damage boost. You should have enough time to get to the barrel, and then completely ignore Endguard. After the checkpoint, we need some Snapjaw manipulation. To dodge this arc of bananas, we need to dip into the water, swim under Clapper, and bop the seal on the other side. Take note of Snapjaw lurking at the bottom of the screen. If Snapjaw is too far on the right side when you jump in, it will immediately sling to your position. Whereas if we wait for Snapjaw to turn around on the left side, the fish swims up and then readies the chompers, giving us just enough time to escape. Except that's overthinking it, because turns out you can just glide over this banana arc. That would have been good to know earlier. This next part is pretty cool, and not because of the ice. There's a hidden invincibility barrel here, overlapped by, of all things, a banana. But with a team up, our jump is exactly the height we need to grab the invincibility, but not the banana. We need this too. The only way to skip the hook bananas is by letting the water float us up to the next section. From here, take out the spinies, let the water thaw out, and damage boost past the double-triple threat. Bounce on Clapper and say hello to the zingers. Hello! This way the barrel respawns above the ice. For the last section, we must lob the barrel into one of the 2 zingers, follow the barrel such that it continues to take out zingers, glide between banana and a spiky boy, and finally jump over Cruncha. Yeehaw. Chain link chamber. Let's get this over with. To start off, we can skip this room with a spin jump, grabbing the chain link below. Just as easily, we can skip the second room. From here, you must switch to Dixie, as only she can slip through the bananas in this tight corridor. Past the crooks, and... what am I supposed to do about this? Well, actually, there's a cannonball in this corner, which goes into the cannon below. We fail the bonus room strategically, and skip those dreaded bananas. And then they do it again! Well, actually, you may notice there's a bit of a ledge up here. We can reach it with a good old team-up toss. And just as I'm starting to feel good about this level, the third time finally gets us. Excuse me, Diddy, what are you doing up there? How are you doing? Cheater! He's a cheater! Someone call Nintendo, he's cheating the game. He's taunting me. Oh, you wish you could do this and skip the bananas. I thought we were on the same team, Diddy. Unfortunately, we have to take a banana here, and the jump is... close. We need a decently perfect max jump height to only grab one banana. We can then jump into a secret alcove to both grab an invincibility barrel and to dodge the banana, and then wreck everything in our path. Take the 4 bananas on your way up. I don't think it's possible to dodge them, and if it is, it's the tightest thing till Tuesday. Navigate this congested web of bees and then face the cannonball barrage. Quickly climb past this banana and dodge the incoming cannonball by gliding on the right side. You might be dodging for a while as you search for the perfect jump height to reach the ledge without touching the danger fruit. Next, we have 3 near-identical sections where a duo of zingers will chase you as you short hop across chain links. If you jump the first section fast enough, you can actually despawn the zingers, giving you ample time to make the first of these tricky jumps. We have to short hop and barely tap left to land on the ledge without hitting the banana. The next section has another secret strat. If you spin off the ledge, you can skip all the chain links. This next jump requires you to tap the jump button ever so slightly longer than before. Then we have the worst of the banana bunch. Let the zingers go first, drop below, and switch to Diddy. Short hop to the top and damage boost when you get there. You have approximately 13 seconds to short hop, glide with Dixie, and slot onto the ledge beneath the bananas. It's painfully time and button sensitive. If you hold the button for any degree of time, you'll hit the chain link, and the glide has a tiltingly tiny time window. And if you do get it, watch your monkey behind for the clobber from the depths of Crocodile Cauldron. He will ruin your run and you will be a very, very existentially sad mushroom. Okay? Jump around the nerd. Got it? Got it? And you're not done yet. We have to slip onto a ledge one more time and then barely graze that target in perhaps the narrowest range yet. And if you somehow manage, that's a 5 banana score for you. Oh boy, Toxic Tower. Hooray! Toxic Tower has an interesting reputation preceding it, namely, the hardest level in the game. That is largely debatable, but the level does present a difficulty spike through the main gimmick, rising toxic sludge. This toxic follows relentlessly the entire level, which already places a good deal of pressure on you as the player. But also, you have to play the level as a snake. A clunky, slow-moving, I have to completely stop to charge my super jump snake. If you are not good at controlling the danger noodle, this level will pound your confidence into the ground. Then you hit the checkpoint barrel, and Toxic Tower becomes the easiest level in the whole world. Squawks and Squitter have too much mobility for anything else to even matter, and at the very least if you beat Ratley's section, these ones should be no trouble at all. The No Banana Challenge is the same way. The latter half of the level is easily bananaless, with only about 5 even remotely in the way. But the former half, call me a monkey in a banana barrel because it's not good. Ratley's section is loaded with bananas, and they are directly in your face every stretch of the way. To make matters worse, they are all theoretically possible to dodge. Remember, we've got Toxic trailing us, so we can't afford to take our good time setting up a perfect jump. But the whole way up is tight, strategic jumps. How do you get past here? What do you do here? But the worst of all are these. There are 4 bananas with zingers directly over their heads. Wait a minute, that's not right. There are 4 zingers with bananas directly over their heads. If you bounce right on the corner, it might be possible to dodge the fruity things. No way. We're gonna do a crockhead clamber again. I got through with 15 bananas, good enough, let's move on. That's World 6 complete, and despite the rough finish, we ended up with a pretty good scorecard. There's only one level left now, at the Flying Croc. Screech's Sprint tries yet again to block us with a banana arc at the beginning of the level, but the top of this bramble doesn't damage us, so we can glide right over. Climb past the clingers, and when you grab the chest, throw it away, there's bananas in there. Weirdly, there's a banana in this corner too, but it doesn't matter. This drop down is simple, and then there are 2 discount Sonics. There's no bananas here, but they're annoying. There's one more decently tight jump, and then we have a new impasse. To break this banana blocker, switch to Diddy and jump into the brambles about here. This allows Dixie to damage boost past the banana duo. Then we get to the race. Now the fact that we have to beat Screech in a race could make dodging the bananas impossibly precise, but it isn't much of a problem. We can damage boost over Screech's head to avoid the trigger that starts the race, to take our good time with the rest of the course. Which is good because some of these passages have the smallest of entryways, even without any bananas. Then we finally get here. Can you dodge these bananas? Probably. Do I care? No. There is a DK barrel found earlier in the level to help damage boost through this blocker, but the section is far too long to get all the way through. And then there's another banana blocker, and the finish line is made out of bananas. What's the minimum here anyway? 4, 3, 2, whatever. 16 bananas is fine enough. That's not the way we want to lead into the final boss, but alas. At the very least, there are no bananas inside the flying croc, and if you've gotten this far in the challenge, King K. Rool is no trouble at all. Time to reflect and take it all in.
He actually made it into Smash Ultimate. That is so great.
Catch ya in Ultimate, K. Rool. Bye-bye. And with that, we're not done yet. Did I get ya? Everyone who's played this game before is like, who is he kidding? Why is he pretending like the Lost World doesn't exist? That's right. We've got the whole Lost World left to do. Jungle Jinx is a tough level, but you just gotta feel that bouncy rhythm. The first noteworthy maneuver is a team-up toss at this ledge. A basic throw will cause us to slide right back down, and yet, we need to stay clear of both banana slammas and rolling rubber. We can jump when the tire rolls on screen, throw when the tire's directly above the Kongs, and if the height is right, land on the ledge banana free. Gliding over this banana arc, we can just as easily glide through these zingers. You can also glide over the spinies with a well-timed jump, and we need a damage boost to get across this gap. Geez, those spikes are dangerous. You could get a splinter. The next banana arc needs a very tight maneuver, and that's in part because the spin jump, it drops you off the ledge. You need to make a standard jump work. Close one. Glide across this gap and dance around the game's favorite enemy combo. The next set of spiky platforms is the level's most dangerous, but particularly because these banana quartets prevent us from bouncing off the tires. However, we can stand on an edge of a ledge and duck to avoid getting squashed. Skip the first platform entirely with Dixie, and then switch to Diddy. Team up, time 1 second after the tire falls off screen, and jump. Now, wait, whatever works. I was supposed to land on the ledge with a team-up toss, but as long as you have Dixie, it's no problem. When you get to this banana string, we have another type maneuver. We have to avoid all the bananas down here and rare place the zinger just to block Dixie from gliding over. Too bad, Rareware. We can actually slip underneath and still make it to the ledge. We finally get to use the crouch slide again, and to top this level off, grab the clobber and truck that zinger. We need to glide a lot in Black Ice Battle. The enemies aren't too difficult, but the game purposely inhibits your view while in the air. You'll simply have to memorize the 2 zingers here, the 3 bananas here, and when given a multiple choice, always take the far right passage. Okay, I took a left here, but this one doesn't matter. Just after these 2 zingers, there's an alcove on the right. Use the clobber to reach the chest. There's a cannonball inside, which we want to carry all the way down to these zingers. The cannonball never breaks, so it's the best plan to cut through these banana blockers. And that's it. Another successful 0 bananas. Clobber Carnage is full of, well, clobbers. Knocking us around everywhere is annoying, but they aren't the main problems, of course. It's the vacant barrels that cause issues. When you reach the first set of face barrels, take the Dixie barrel and steer clear of the preceding bananas. At the third turn barrel, shoot diagonally to skip all that pesky produce and some bees. Upon reaching the next turn barrel, switch to Diddy, shoot upwards, and drop directly over the Dixie barrel into the Diddy barrel. Take the Dixie barrel at the next face set, and that's the checkpoint. We've got TNT clobbers now, but all they do is self-destruct. Stupid head. The side-scrolling section here is loaded with bananas, but luckily, we have strategy. The freedom to shoot in any direction means anytime bananas tell us to shoot one way, we can shoot another and stay clear, with some exceptions. There's a banana bunch and a banana blocker that we can only skip with a damage boost, which means we can't damage boost here. It's actually possible to get inside this barrel without touching the banana, but it's a near perfect shot and I can't seem to get it consistently. I would normally put the time in, but that's not the only problem. There's a banana blocker at the end of the final side scroller too. Can we get here with both Kongs? Well, we can dodge most of the bananas with sick moves like these, And then there's this section. We can fire like so to skip all 4 fruits, but the moving barrel despawns. Yeah, if you take the barrel off screen just a little too far, it disappears. So we could have had 0 bananas, but no, we have to damage boost here, which means we have to collect 1 banana at the banana blocker. So I'll just take 2 and call it a day. Fiery Furnace takes the gimmick from last level and really turns up the heat. Instead of the free turning barrels from last time, now we get free moving barrels. This gives us more options to succeed and more to fail. Also, Discount Sonic is in this level, so rip! The difficulty bubbles up after the first crook, where we need to dodge Spinies, switch to Diddy, pop into the move barrel, carefully slip between bananas and a spiky boy, and zoom up to the next zinger to damage boost. Skip that first barrel and twirl down to the second. As you pop into the barrel, hold right. You should slip through the next banana hazard, and we're on to the next section. Switch to Diddy, jump into the move barrel, fly next to the top zinger, blast out on the flitter and into the next barrel. Here's where tragedy strikes. Diddy grabs the banana while he's dying. We don't have any other options. We need to damage boost at the top of the screen so Dixie can skip the next string of bananas. Oh well. For the upcoming segments, it's important to know that the move barrels greater than 1 give a generously ample amount of time to get the Kongs across the lava. It's often better to wait for zingers to move out of the way rather than try and zoom around them. 1 barrels, on the other hand, are tight on your fingers. This section has you going up and around quickly to reach the next barrel while avoiding bananas. For the next move barrel, we'll move quick past the first 2 and then brake for the third zinger. The barrel transfer seems tough, but you can overlap plenty. Then take to the top of the screen and wait as necessary. That zinger is kinda just chilling in the lava there. This next obstacle is another problem. We can damage boost these zingers, obviously, but Diddy's gonna grab a banana again. You've ruined this run enough, Diddy. Let's do something else. Well, what else is there? Flitter! If you just walk off the platform, the flitter will actually damage you, which boosts us past this obstacle. Now, there are 4 Discount Sonics before the end. Given the chance, they will ruin your run even more than Diddy. Don't let them. This one respawned and tried to There's 1 more move barrel section, but it's not a problem. Again, we are robbed of a bananaless run. Getting away with just 1, however, is nothing to laugh at. And that's it. There's definitely not a level called Animal Antics that we have left to do. You can't make me. You can't make me. Look, you can't beat Animal Antics without collecting any bananas, so why would you even do that to yourself? The one time the banana arc comes in clutch. Oh yeah, and I guess you have to beat Rool again, whatever. So time to tally up the final scores. The number of levels you can beat in Donkey Kong Country 2 with 0 bananas is 14. The number of levels we got the minimum bananas in is 10. And the levels we got under 20 bananas is 9. If you include bosses, that's 21 levels. And if you include Stronghold Showdown, the level where nothing happens, that's 22 levels. I know I'm throwing all kinds of numbers around the screen right now, but surely the value is in the journey rather than the destination. But just in case you do like numbers, that's 84.6% of levels with at least 1 medal, which bumps up to 87% if you include bosses, and 87.2% if you include Stronghold. 61.5% of levels got gold or silver, which bumps up to 67.4% if you include bosses, and that's 35.9% of levels with gold medals. We're rounding to the nearest 10th place, by the way. Trying to match or even beat these scores will seriously test your mettle. I didn't have much room to say while sprinting through each level, but I really enjoyed this challenge. It got aggravating at times, sure, having to restart the level because I grabbed 1 too many bananas, reaching an impasse with no clear solution, Discount Sonic, However, the vast variety of strategies the game offers to combat the banana blockers always gave me a grip of excitement coming into a level and seeing what new mechanic was on the table. And the satisfaction from finally finishing a tough level was awesome. The levels with gold medals are all great, and even just getting a silver or bronze medal was worth it. Just because a level ruined that perfect 0 didn't mean it was null and void. Some of the levels are a bit overbearing, but most of them are challenging, exciting, and absolutely worth your time. Rattle Battle, Topsail Trouble, Parachute Panic, Jungle Jinx, and Fiery Furnace are probably my favorite levels in this challenge. Slime Climb and Clapper's Cavern get honorable mentions, but Snapjaw is just too unreliable. I'll have every completed level uploaded to my extras channel uncommented, so if you want to watch the levels from start to finish, you can find them there. We'd have what, a 5-hour video if I walk through all of them? I know some people think these videos will just keep getting longer and longer, but I'm trying to make them shorter. Honestly, it's just nearly every level was worth talking about. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed watching this challenge. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you liked, what you think I can do better, and have a barrel blast bonanza of a 2020. Cause who knows when I'll see you again. This is the worst thing I have ever done!